Hey everyone, welcome to Chris and Angel's channel. Like and subscribe and stay tuned for every Friday for a new video. So, she's not really responding to me, and then I kind of knew, but I didn't know when. She didn't tell me nothing. And we get on to Bible study. She's like, oh, I'm moving. She didn't tell me this. And she told everybody. I was like, oh, I didn't know. I thought maybe she was moving like in August or something. I didn't know what was going on.
Now, how's she supposed to be a close friend, or you claim to say she's a close friend and you don't tell the person? You tell everybody but the close friend.
During this time, I wasn't doing too well mentally. I realized during quarantine, I've been ignoring my anxiety issues that I've been dealing with since high school, and because school got in the way, and I needed therapy. It just wasn't good. And when quarantine hit, I was stuck here in Los Angeles and in a different place, a smaller room. She called me. She's like, oh, how's your faith and everything? To this point, questioning our friendship. And it's more of she's not acting like a friend. She's acting more of like a mentor. This is the messed up part. Sometimes with the friends that you're friends with, kind of under disguise. I didn't realize this until afterwards. And my mom and I talked about it, and she agrees. I told her that I was here alone, and then she kept asking me, oh, can you go back to your friend's place? And I said no, because they're a little older. They don't have a lot of health issues. So the risk of me going back and giving them coronavirus, which I understand. People with certain health issues, if they get it, they could be done. You never know. You never know what happens. We just shut down. So my parents were like, hey, stay there, because this has never happened, ever. And especially in my parents' lifetime, they've gone through things. Your parents are wise because they've gone through things, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So my dad was like, hey, stay there. And so she was asking, oh, can you go back? And can you go back to the family friend? And I was like, no, I'm basically stuck here. And she kind of persuaded me. She said to me, oh, you're alone, and basically even your family rejected you. And the Bible says the people, you love and whatever will turn against you. And she really persuaded me that my parents rejected me, didn't love me. And when my mom came last week, she's like, really? You think your own parents would turn against their own child that they've raised, that they love, that they nurture, they invested money in you?
This is a corona freaking virus.
This is a coronavirus, my mom.
If they didn't protect you, they would probably be like, come on, come here, risk yourself. Because then that means they'll be selfish because they didn't care about your well-being. So they're telling you to stay home.
My mom was literally, yes, exactly. My mom was like, we never gone through coronavirus. Does she know? Has she been in coronavirus before?
Coronavirus is
real. Yeah, so my mom was like, we were trying to protect you so you wouldn't get coronavirus. My mom's like, really? You think your parents...
So where's the rejection in there?
Anyways, she literally made me think oh, my parents don't accept me. Not loving. Even your parents turn against you. And she really made me feel that way. As friends, it sucks. I'm going to be involving, ethnicity, background. I'm half Asian, I'm half American, okay? I'm half white. I remember exactly. It was a Saturday. It was exactly 3 weeks into the shutdown.
Yeah, this made me feel some type of way.
And Emily called me. And she's like, how you doing? Oh, I miss Korean food, Asian food. She's like, oh, I get to talk to my roommates. And that kind of made me feel a little bit like, oh, I wish I could have interaction with the people I love and know, you know, go out in the open in their house, whereas I'm stuck literally in a room. You know, all I can do is call my mom, and I was calling my mom twice a week. Sometimes you need to keep your mouth shut, okay?
Ooh, seriously.
And this made me pissed off. I was already down, I was already low, and it hurt. Her fiance said, because she, I guess, was missing Korean food, she wanted to go to the Asian market to buy some Korean groceries. And then her fiance's like, don't go to the Asian market because you can probably get coronavirus there, because that's what started it. It hurt me because already at that time, the Asian community throughout the country of the United States was being bashed, and it hit home. It really did. And sometimes there are certain words and certain things that you say that triggers something that can make a person mad, that can make a person happy, that can make a person upset. What she said to me of what he said, it triggered it. And after I got off the phone, I started crying. It was a long thing.
A lot was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in a way, like, you are mentally fighting with yourself. I was literally fighting with myself, and it was to a point it hurt. It was bad. And so Emily made me actually turn against my parents. Yes.
There's one thing I want to say. Now, before you go on to it, there's certain things that you say to a person when they're going through something like this. What she is about to tell you is something. Please do not say stuff like this to somebody who is going through that. All right? But continue.
After the incident, I didn't want to tell anybody. I couldn't get out of bed. And then leading up to this day. And I was really scared of telling my mom, my friends at the time, because I was scared. I literally thought, like, is there something wrong with me? Like, God, like, I'm sorry that, like, you know, I'm thinking this way. But I will say, it wasn't just the friendship that was toxic that, you know, led me to this. It was history, which I will eventually share. It goes way back into my childhood. Eventually, I realized I needed help, and God was showing me in this moment to heal and to actually deal with it. Anxiety takes joy out of your life, okay? So I called my mom, and I told her, and her first reaction was like, why would you think that? You have a relationship with Christ, you believe in Jesus Christ. Like, I did get that reaction. But then my mom was like, hold on, wait a second. She took a step back and she thought about it, and she's like, you know what? She's like, no, I'm sorry I said that. Because when she said that, I broke down, because that's what I was scared of, being basically condemned. And in that moment, I was being, in a way, I felt condemned, and I felt guilty. And the reason why you don't say that to someone who is going through mental health issues is because they already feel guilty. They already feel like they're a failure. They already feel that the guilt, they just feel ashamed. Like, I already felt ashamed even before I told them. Even, like, I felt like God was ashamed of me. But then my mom was like, hold on, no. I'm sorry, no. And she's like, okay, let's get you the help. Let's get you therapy. So she was the one recommended. Okay, let's get a therapist, but a person of faith base. And it changed my life. Okay, I'm going to tell Emily. This was the worst. She did the same exact thing that I was afraid of, but she
was no better
than
what.
But she shamed me even more. She's like, why didn't you start praying? Why didn't you start reading the Bible? Why didn't you? And I had to mute myself because I'm already broken down. and it just made me feel even worse. So I had to mute myself because I just started crying. And she's like, why didn't you do this? And to be honest, like, I just, in that moment, I needed someone to just listen and to be there for me. And that person who really was my mother, because I told her straight out. When I was talking to Emily, like, I just really wanted comfort. I just wanted someone to listen. And when someone has mental issues, and sometimes they tell you these things, sometimes just listen. Sometimes you...
And not only that, but in terms of, like, trusting in God and stuff, the fact that, especially her as a close friend and supposed to be like being there with God or whatever, she's doing the exact opposite and moving her away from that. And not only that, the stuff that you say, you know, God in a way has us in our brains to have people influence in our lives. That's just how he created us. But it's the people that we choose and people that we go to that's gonna really, like, because we have to say it, we impact each other's lives, you know, and it can impact in a good way and it can impact in a bad way. And then, you know, the stuff she was saying, it's that you have to say stuff like, you know, I care, I love you, you know, I don't understand what you're going through, but I'm gonna tell you when this is all over, I'm gonna still be here, you know, I'm not going to abandon you. Words like that you're supposed to say.
That is so true, because she was trying to give me advice. She just kept talking.
Hear what she said.
Yeah, you're totally right. Actually, wait, repeat what you just said. I want to hear it again.
Okay. Alright, so basically when you're since somebody's going through that, the first thing you gotta do is hear what the person's saying, acknowledge what they're saying, and if you're going to say anything, say stuff in the positive, like encourage, like say that I won't abandon you, like I will be there for you. I know that I don't understand exactly the feeling that you're there, but I'm gonna sit with you, I care about you, I love you, like when all this is over, I'm gonna still be here, you know? That's the stuff you need to say. You can't just stop telling them what they already are in a downfall. They already have low self-esteem, and you're literally stepping on the foot that's already being hurt.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you doing that?
Exactly. Yeah, because
don't give them advice. Don't tell them what they need to do when they already
because what was happening was I was already going through a spiritual attack. I'm not praying enough. No. Because there's something that God was showing me to deal with. And actually, you were totally right, Crystal. Like, when she said that, I turned away even more from God. Because I was already ashamed. I felt like God was already ashamed of me. And
those are the people you need to remove.
Yes, because...
Please, because...
It really was. From there on out, it was like, wasn't listening. She was always speaking, and I was always listening, and I had no problem with that. Oh, like, I'm learning from her. But then, at this moment of my life, I was like, I'm not learning anything from what you're saying. It's just not impacting me. And I really did turn away from God. And just a lot was going through that. At the same time, God wanted me to get rid of things in my life, to heal, to get rid of anxiety, but through therapy. There are certain methods, like you can like have someone pray over you. You can, again, it's different for each person, but for me, the therapy helped. Yeah, and when I wanted to speak to her, it's like I couldn't. And if we did, always giving me advice, and when I wanted to just have some girl talk, I gotta go do this, which is cool. And I haven't actually called you for over a month, like not even like an hour conversation. It was like 20 or 30 minutes of her just giving me advice.
Yeah.
And
that's why I said like, you know, it's a take thing. That's an example. You have somebody who is the only one that's trying to plan something to see you, or the only person that's trying to call you, and you're not trying to return the favor, or, you know, not giving the time of day?
When I was doing therapy, I told my therapist everything, but I told her about Emily and Jane, and she's like, yeah, it's not worth it. And at one point with Emily, I didn't tell my therapist everything about Emily. But then I told her about the wedding stuff, and she's like, what? You gave her money to buy her wedding dress? She's like, that's like big.
The stuff that I would do to repair back.
Yeah, she was like, oh. I wasn't telling Emily like everything of how I was feeling, and so over time I was like, you know what, I think like quarantine revealed like it's just best for us to not be friends. What I realized with Emily and Jane, especially when I was back in Ohio and recovering,
exactly,
I realized that whenever I did something for them, then they would respond. Like, hey, how you doing? Like, you know, I care about like what you up to. Like, you know, I hope everything's okay. Especially this is uncertain times. And also there was a lot of things that were happening in their life drastically because they were moving to, not in the United States. And also like with WhatsApp, like I would only use it for them. I always had that anticipation like, oh, have they messaged me yet? Have they like responded yet? And I was waiting for their response. I decided I'm gonna confront and cut things off. We made the call, we made a schedule. Oh, actually leading up, leading up to this call. And she would always, sorry to interrupt. She would always keep saying that, oh, you know I'm not good at messaging. Okay.
Remember when she said, this girl does not know how to text? Well, no, I'm gonna take that back. She know how to text. But she takes too doggone long and don't barely text back. But in this round, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Here's the, side note, that's another toxic thing. If somebody's already giving you excuses to like get out of doing the right thing, it's not, come on, that's toxic too. But anyways, yeah, so like I said earlier in the video, she takes too long to text or whatever. Yeah, so like I said earlier, when you don't, she says she claims she don't know how to text back, you take too long to text back. But listen, when the whole transformation went 360. She went from waiting for a month to waiting for 2 seconds. Because when I tell you that girl was Speedy Gonzalez, once she heard that there was a problem with her, look, when Angelica was like, well, this, you know, I need to tell you blah 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 blah, we need to talk or whatever, and then 2 seconds she's like, oh, is there something wrong? I was like, what? You see?
Oh, let me add on that.
Go ahead.
Okay, I got rid of WhatsApp, and she noticed that I didn't respond. Or like when you're in WhatsApp and someone deletes it, like I guess it doesn't go through.
I would say
whatever.
more of an expose app, because.
Anyways, so then she like text messages me. She hasn't text messaged me, I don't know, for like 2 years. She would always be like, oh, I only use WhatsApp. So she messages me and she's like, hey Angel, are you like something about like, are you not on WhatsApp? You didn't respond, you know? And like,
and guess what's that message is on? What did she message on that to you?
That it was regular like Apple, you know,
regular
iMessage,
y'all.
Regular, yeah, text message.
That ain't WhatsApp, but she can text on iMessage. That's the key.
And so she's like, oh, like we should talk or something, let me know. Now, people know me, like, usually text pretty quick.
Yes, you do.
Okay?
Yep.
And also my parents, they taught me, you know, respond. Like if you get a message, if you see it, you know,
especially if they know
respond,
you see it.
Yes, like respond to it quickly, you know, like follow up.
Yeah.
I didn't respond. I was like, girl, you've been stressing me out for like the past, like earlier this year. Like, I'm gonna ignore you like you ignored me.
Let me add this.
Yes,
I'm glad she said that, because Angelica almost took a little page out of Emily's book and not like text back immediately. Now it was like I would say an hour long before, you know, she would have.
Usually respond like within a few minutes, or if I'm really busy.
She went a little longer this time.
I was actually getting dinner with my dad and spending time with my dad. I ignored her. I was like, I don't want to stress about it. And so at one point, actually, because I didn't respond, she called me an hour later. And I didn't respond. And I was like, And so, yeah, I ain't trying to deal with you. And then, so I didn't respond. And then 2 weeks later passed. And then she's like, Angel, I feel like there's something wrong and we need to talk. And
That's, yeah.
I have the messages.
Wait. Like I said, she texted her. She didn't do like she usually do and text quickly. She just let it linger a little bit. Now, knowing her, we probably thinking like, okay, she not gonna like text back. It's probably gonna be forever like usual. As soon as that girl pressed send, when I tell you that girl texted back so fast that I never believed in life, I was like, you just exposed yourself. You can't text quickly.
She says, hi Angel, how are you? I haven't heard from you in so many weeks. And I realize it's because your WhatsApp is not working anymore. Did you probably deleted it? I sent you a voice note, but it never went through.
Wait. Let me say something else. Let me say something.
Wait. She says, when can you talk? Let's talk tomorrow.
No, wait. Repeat the WhatsApp part on the text, because I need to explain this part. Say that again. And I'm gonna stop you.
I haven't heard from you in so many weeks, and I realize it is because your WhatsApp is not working anymore.
Stop. So she's saying, I realized that it has been deleted, and I was like, girl,
Ooh.
what you mean? I think you know what WhatsApp be doing. Why you acting like you don't know what's going on? Like, girl, it's just like, just say up front, I see you deleted the app. Just say that. Don't be like, well, I don't know if something is going wrong, but girl, you know, when something is deleted, you know how to use WhatsApp. Don't act like you, I think I know. You know. Just be up front and say, I see you deleted the app. Tell me why you deleted the app. Don't be like, well, I think that something is either wrong or you deleted the app. Like,
y'all, she's not, this girl, she's not stupid, okay? And I'm not stupid too. Also, I lied. I did respond to her, but I didn't respond to her immediately.
It was almost like, I would say like an hour into it.
No, 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours.
And
whenever we were in college and we wanted to meet up, she was always late. She was never on time. Never. Maybe once. And I always got there early. My dad always told me, even if you're on time, you're technically late. Well, she would be 30 minutes late after the hour we were supposed to meet.
Not only was she technically, she was late in the late. Like.
She and Jane would cancel me the day of. And I do not appreciate that. And that also my problem was, it was my fault too. I didn't speak up. I didn't speak up about myself. And I didn't defend myself. So I just let it happen. And basically it kind of also led to this blow up. I responded that day 2 hours later because when she messaged me, I was about to eat. Actually, we were taking out from Cozumel. I'ma eat. I'ma worry about you later. she notices, because it was a time where I, like, you know, in March, where I really questioned our friendship.
Yeah.
So she's always leading, so that's why she says, when can you talk? Let's talk tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, no problem, you know, like, I would accommodate. I'm pretty easygoing, because I want whatever fits best for you too, okay? But I put my foot down. Chris and my mom guided me. I'ma also give credit to my mom. I said, I can't tomorrow. I think it would be best if we schedule another time to talk. She's like, okay, sure, when? If it could be within next week, that would be great. I honestly feel something is not right, and I would like for us to talk to fix it. Actually, no, this was the same night. This was the same night. Yeah, keep going. Okay, yes, let's have
Read that text one more time.
Okay,
Read that text one more time.
Okay, sure. If it could be within next week, that would be great. I honestly feel something is not right, and I would like for us to talk to fix it.
No crap.
No crap. Oh, let me also get on to this. Like, this is how she's in control. If it could be within next week, that would be great. For my convenience. It's
never a compromise of what each others are doing. It's almost like me, what I need to do.
But to be honest, I would compromise with her. But this time I was like,
but how she responds is
actually, my mom and Crystal advised me, no, do not give her the lead way.
No,
so this was the first time I put my foot down.
You be in the driver's seat. You be in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
That's what I told you.
So, and then I respond, okay, I'm available to talk next Wednesday at 3 p.m. So this is the first time I actually put my foot down, and I'm leading. And then she doesn't respond until the next day, but she says, yeah, sure. This happened in June, because I remember we had this conversation, this cutoff, Wednesday, at my previous apartment. When she called, she even said, oh, I'm so sorry, like, that I haven't responded. Like, she is even admitting that she hasn't been responding.
She did it before y'all even discussed the situation. She came in through saying, oh, I'm sorry, this blah, 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 blah. If somebody is already about to apologize before you even discuss the thing y'all was about to talk about,
she already knew.
She know.
She already knew. And so, yeah.
She's trying to cover up for it.
She's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. And like, whenever those two friends apologize, I would always say, oh, it's okay, you know. Like, I always say it's okay. But this time, I said, no, it's not okay. What you did is not okay. And I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I was really nervous, and I was my calm self. I was like, you know, it's not okay, you know, because this is what you did, and this is how I felt. And like, I'm not blaming anything on her, but it's like, I'm coming out, like, of saying like, hey, I'm mentally not okay. And God is teaching me to fix it. In order to grow, you need to heal. You need to forgive what happened leading up to this anxiety, okay? I was addressing to her is like, you weren't being supported that I needed. And I really wanted you to be there and to be honest, like, to just listen. Told her almost the exact same things what I wrote in here. This is what I wrote. I said, no, I'm not mad or upset. You told me that you were busy, so I wanted to let you be. Also, I have been busy too. I have. God wanted me to take care of myself health-wise. I canceled WhatsApp because I don't use it, and I really don't need it, so I deleted it. And I said, God has revealed to me about our friendship during quarantine, and it made me think about our friendship. And this is where it kind of took a turn. And I was really praying for her to like understand. And it's not about me saying who is right, who's wrong. I'm coming out and for the first time speaking out about how I feel. I'm not okay right now. Exactly. To have a voice. she was taken aback because she was like, hold on, wait, what? Like, because I said it's not okay. What you did is not okay.
Or she'll do this thing where it's like, oh, okay, I'll try.
Actually, she's like, even before I said anything, she was like, you know, don't worry, I'll try my best to, you know, be a better.
You know, I had to do so and so, you know, with the whole moving. And I'm like, that happened before.
Yes, this was before I said anything and before I started speaking about what I've written. This was her when she was saying, oh, I'm sorry, didn't respond. I don't remember exactly, but she was already even saying, like, you know, I'll do better. But it's to a point, in my head, I'm like, it's too late.
You had 4 years to do that, girl. You had 4 years.
Yeah, and then, so I started telling her, lately, I feel like it's not really a friendship. Like, I went into it, and, like, it's more of, like, a mentor. And she's like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. But, like, you know, you're my baby. And it's like, that I don't like.
Let me stop you right there. Yeah, that right there, you're supposed to, as a friendship, it's supposed to be an equal thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's supposed to be like, you know, I got your bag, you got mine, stuff like that. But when you're saying stuff like, oh, this is my little baby, blah, 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 you're not saying it as this is my equal. She is somebody below me. She's somebody that's little in me. So when you're saying it like that, of course, no, you're not saying we're in a friendship. No, you're in a bigger stage and she's in a little stage. That's how you're approaching this. This is not no equal to you.
You know, she wasn't respecting me. Also, you know, I respect you, you respect me. I'm usually within any type of group of friends or like at work or wherever I am, I'm usually the youngest. Since I was very young, even my mom said this, like, you didn't like to be called baby. Oh, you're so little. You really hated that. And I don't like that. I just feel like looked down upon. Yes.
And also, I have to say this, when I did the whole big thing for Angel's birthday party or whatever, she even said, because at the time, she was one of the people that asked to be a part of it, and she even said in the video, she's like, oh, hello, little girl, you know, blah, 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 and I was like, little girl?
Yeah.
No, like...
It started, like, going downhill. It was to a point I want to end this friendship. She's like, what? She was taken aback.
Oh, before you go there, wait, real quick, side note. So, what she's about to say, there's a certain thing where you want to have a moment and everything, and you want to grab that moment and be like, okay, cool, you got what you wanted, blah, blah, blah. But even though you grabbed that, you just lost the biggest thing of all because you want to deal with your own selfishness and you wanting to be on top all the time. Yeah, you got what you want, but guess what? You lost something big.
Yeah.
But she chose that other decision.
Yeah, I was addressing, like, it's not cool that, you know, you know, with the messaging thing, because I know that you read it because of WhatsApp, and like the WhatsApp tells you, like, if it's a double blue check mark, they've read it. And if it's a double gray check mark, it means they haven't even opened it and they haven't seen it. Yes. I eventually told her, yeah, I don't want to be friends anymore because, you know, you've done this to me. And she did not take it well. I thought she was going to be like Crystal,
pretty much,
but absolutely not. You want to cut 4 years off? Like, you want to do this? Like, are you dead serious, Angel? Even in that moment, she made me feel guilty. Your friend shouldn't make you feel guilty. In a way, she wasn't, like, understanding. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, you know, this is not okay. And, like, what you are doing is not okay. You know, and I tell my frustration. And, you know, it got into an argument. And she was, like, using scripture against me. She said, you didn't love me. If you are cutting this off, that means you didn't love me. And that is so not true. I loved her. I loved her like if she was my own sister. You're telling me I didn't love you? Are you serious? I'm not saying what I'm saying is easy for me. I even told her, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, not even easy for me to come out. And she's like, you're doing the same thing that you did to Crystal, and you're
Now listen. Now let me listen. When she said, oh, because you don't love me or whatever, now understand, when we cut off, even when we cut off, I knew in my heart that Angelica still loves me, and she knows that I still loved her, regardless of the cutoff. And I knew that ever since I knew that even though we cut off, we still loved each other. Like, come on.
Yeah, she said that this isn't love. Also, what you're doing is what Jesus wouldn't do. Already her true colors were showing. And
yes, and she tried to attack her with the, now keyword, attack her with the Bible, and use the Bible in the wrong way.
Don't ever
do
someone
that.
Who
please don't attack nobody with the Bible.
You know, a person of faith as well, and demonetize them with scripture. That is not what the Bible does, okay? She's telling me I'm not love. She's like, you're doing the same exact thing with Crystal. And I said, hold on, stop there. I could have brought in Jane. I could have brought them in, but I was like, no, that is not mature of me. Even God was like, don't even go there, like, you know. And she brought in Crystal, and I was like, hold on. You don't know anything about our friendship, because in fact you weren't even there. I said, do not bring up Crystal. That is a different friendship. That is a different situation.
Should I even bring her friends
I could have brought your friends up. And the people that you know, she just started going off, and then she was saying it's okay for
it's okay to keep
and then she was telling me, you're all in your emotions, and you know what, that's really dangerous. Oh,
but
please
guess what she said
mention
after that, though? What did she say after that? Now she's saying, you know, you all up in your emotions, don't use your emotions, but you're hurting
me. And I'm like,
you're hurt. Now what the heck you talking about?
So I can't feel emotions, but you can feel emotions.
But guess what? God invented emotions in the human freaking body. So are you, for somebody that loves God and all that, are you saying God was wrong putting emotions in us? Is that what this is?
You know, sometimes you do need to control it, and the way to do it is actually, you know, to think about, hey, why am I feeling this way? Don't let it overtake me. But she's like, Angel, you can't be all in your emotions. Sometimes, like, if someone dies, like, yeah, you have to.
Yeah. So if somebody died, I'm gonna be like,
that's an emotion.
I'm sad now.
Yeah, so you need to be like Jesus, and you need to love on others, even if they hurt you. And that you're not, yes, but
okay. Yes, but not to when somebody is really like changing and impacting your life to a point where you want to go away from
because
them.
she really turned me against God, and I said, yeah,
so that's okay too.
I did mention that to her. I was like, Emily, like, you're not listening to what I'm saying. She's like, Angel, do not interrupt me. And I said, this is kind of like where I went off just a little bit, and I was like, yo, I've been letting you always talk. Yeah, she was actually talking the whole conversation, and she would always stop me. And so I couldn't always, like, I wasn't able to tell all my side of the story and my point and what my...
And she initiated the discussion.
And let me tell you, you were always late.
Since you want to go
I
there.
said, when it was your major concert, I was there. I was there for you, even when you were upset and everything. I even went to, this actually gets really deep. I even went to, you know, all her concerts last year. I went to everything that was a big stepping stone for her. And at the end of my semester, I had a few showcases, but I didn't invite my friends because I didn't want to, this is my fault too, like inconvenient their time. But I was graduating, and my EPD major, we have a showcase. And to be honest, this is where God like really revealed, you know, my biggest accomplishment. I was actually proud of my music. I was proud of myself. And it was a showcase. And I asked Emily, hey, can you please come? And she said no. And it was actually one of the most important days of my life, because I have to say, I never asked her like ever to come to any of like music shows or whatever that I was involved in, and this was the only time I asked her, because it was the most important thing in my life, especially at the time. And she had a similar thing with her major, but she was hand-picked, she was hand-selected, and I went to that. She's like, oh, I must have had a good reason not to go. I was like, and my mom was like, my mom, Chris, was like, are you dead serious? She said that?
Because you know, if I was still friends with this girl, let me tell you, I would get a freaking plane ticket as soon as I can, meet with her family, and fly over to see this concert, like to see her performance. Legit, I would tell you that right now, because I would do that even with my own situation.
Yeah, but we were in the cutoff still. Yeah,
because she is my main.
So
yeah,
my parents came because they knew this was a big thing, and also it's also for the parents too, because you know my parents invested in me. You know, they paid for my college tuition, and I'm very thankful. I'm very blessed. The only friends that came were, you know, my close friends in Boston that I mentioned in the first video as well. And the thing is that he was involved in the same, it was either a rehearsal or you know, like a weekly worship service, and they were both in the same band. And Abner, he's like, hey, sorry, but I can't come this Thursday night, but I'm coming the rest of, you know, all the others, but this one I can't because I gotta go to, it's really important to me. And the thing is like, she didn't even bother to do the same. And then for her to say, oh, I must have had a good reason not to go, like, I was taken aback, because I went to all her concerts. Even now I'm like, wow, like, yeah, I went to her graduation and everything, and like, of course, the pandemic, there was no graduation, but I even bought your wedding dress, gave you money for the wedding dress. At the end of the phone call, okay, you can come back to me whenever you're done.
Oh, listen, she claimed like, you know, since I know,
since you came back with Crystal and your friends,
I got no problem.
She was bold to say that, and I'm like, yo, mental health issue, and basically I could not be alive, and what you're telling me is when you're done with all your emotions and everything, you can come back to me. I forgive you, Angel, I forgive you.
Wow, I forgive you, I forgive you. Like if she has
never
done
apologized for all the things like I pointed out. I wasn't gonna point it out, but because like she was really being defensive, she was being defensive and yelling and aggressive, because she was, you know, it's like a defense mechanism. The thing is that when you forgive someone, it's not for them, it's for you. And what I mean by that, and like whatever they did wrong to you, you need to heal that wound of being hurt, and like forgive them. Like, hey, whatever you did to me, It's all good. She's like, I forgive you, Angel, you know, because that's what love is, you know, Jesus forgives, you know. But it was, to be honest, it was more of like, the way she said it, it was more of like petty forgiveness. This will prove that she was petty, because at the end of the call, I'm right, you're wrong. You can come back to me when you're done. And my thing is like, it's not who's right or who's wrong. It doesn't matter. My point of this phone call is that you hurt me, and I want you to know that. Yes. None of us are perfect. I make mistakes too. I hurt Crystal, and to be honest,
you know.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, I felt guilty of hurting her. But my thing is like,
and I'm not perfect
own
either.
up to it. And I'm not gonna lie to myself. Because if I keep lying to myself, I'm gonna believe that I'm not a liar and that I didn't do anything wrong. And that is not true. And I'll learn from my mistakes, and I'm not gonna do that again. She didn't even bother to say sorry. Like, whenever she was nice to me, whenever she was nice to me was because, or like, oh, I love you, Angel, you are so like great friend. Because whenever she would say that is because whenever I gave something to her.
Right. And that's what this is what I definitely want to honestly, like, for real, seriously say. There's another toxic thing is when somebody criticizes you, but then when they try to get a criticism in return, they don't accept that criticism when it comes to them. Then on top of that, you know, since she wants to go into the Bible, I'm gonna tell you this though. Proverbs 26:12 mentions about the wise in his own eyes. You know what I'm saying? You believe everything that is right, and it says, do you see a person wise in their own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for them. Like, seriously, you can't say everything that you say is right. Like, come on, you gotta be like better than
if
that.
You care about someone, you're gonna take, this reminds me of, if you have a friendship, it doesn't matter if you are dating someone, you have a mother, you have a friend, you have to put in the work and the effort. And in my opinion,
let me tell you,
it doesn't matter, like, if you have an opinion, I respect that. But like, in my opinion, this is just my suggestion, in a friendship, in a relationship, it should be like balanced. I wouldn't say 50-50, it should be balanced.
No,
you know?
Yeah, it should be balanced. Like, you give something, I
like
give
a
something.
Spouse.
Yeah, but take something.
Like a spouse,
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like a spouse's person.
Because that's how it starts into.
Yeah, like a spouse, like, they have, you know, they have to work on these things and they balance each other out. And that's the same thing. And in the conversation, like, I mentioned that I did say like 50-50, and then this is what she used against me. She said, Angel, God is not 50-50. He puts
Of course
everything.
He's not. He's God.
Of course.
He's God.
Of course.
Like,
but the thing is, I'm not God, and also,
right, and she's not God either.
We're human beings. We can't put all our effort into one thing if you're not going to put any effort. And I mentioned that, and basically she didn't agree with that. She's like, Angel, this is the thing that I do not like. Crystal and I were two different people. And we don't always agree. Like, even with my other friends, like, we don't always agree on certain things, but you respect.
I respect her.
You respect.
And I take her discussion in.
Yes.
And to at least, you know, go through it.
And but the thing is Emily, she said, you're wrong, Angel, you're wrong, you're everything. She was downgrading. Like, she's like, basically your answer, like, is wrong. And I'm like, okay, well, like, if you don't agree with it, you don't agree with it. But the thing is like,
but that don't mean,
when you're in a relationship, when you're in a friendship, not one person can't be doing everything, because also it's like the same thing as human flesh. If I try to do everything, like, you feel like the whole world is on your shoulders. That's why you give it on to God.
Tug you, and it's, yeah.
You have to give it on.
It's gonna mess you up.
Yeah, you have to give it on to God. And what she's saying, no, it's not 50-50. God is not 50-50. But it's like, girl, you are acting like
you're freaking God yourself.
Saying I wouldn't say God.
No, because she's saying, well, no, that's what I'm saying. Because she's saying, you're wrong, I'm right, I'm always right. Because, you know, God be right all the time. So,
but if you don't agree, that's fine. But you need to respect. You don't need to downgrade that person.
You don't need to abuse it or attack it.
Everything that she was saying in that conversation, it just showed her true colors. And each time when something comes up in my daily life, I'm like, there's more of a reason why I don't want to be friends with her. And I was like, especially at the end of the conversations, like, you can come back to me when you're done with all your, you know, whatever.
Oh, because she felt confident.
And yeah, she was very confident about it. And the thing is like, with her and Jane, I'm not saying they're bad people, and it didn't seem like they respected me. Also, my fault is that I didn't put boundaries. Sometimes they had the attitude, I felt like they were better than you, and like they knew more. And actually, she admitted once, like, we were writing a song together, and she's like, I thought your lyrics were pathetic. And I had to, God made me realize, like, you know, I have to, you know, repent. And
see, and
I don't like that.
That's another toxic thing.
And
yeah, that's another toxic thing. You know, avoid people who think that they're smarter than everybody else. You know, that's also, shoot, that's in Proverbs 26:16. A sluggard is wiser in his own eyes than 7 people who answer discreetly. Like, come on, like, y'all just what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah, and also they're not acknowledging that. They think what they did was nothing wrong. Yes, because if they're like really toxic and negative, and it ruined my relationship with Christ, I had to get rid of them.
But I would say there's some people that, you know, not everybody, even if they are in the wrong sometimes, like, you know, if they're considered to opening to like realizing what's going on, then you can still be, I would say, don't move on from them yet. You know, still be friends with them, because when they realize what their false is doing and they try to do to fix it, then you're basically like helping them into that, you know. So I wouldn't say not everybody.
But Emily, she kept saying like, oh yes, I'll do better, but it's like, don't say it, do it. My motto is like, for me, is the Nike slogan, and for me that is just do it.
Yeah, like, I take saying things like, you know, I love you, I'm gonna be there for you, stuff like that. I take that very seriously when it comes to the people that I care about and that I love. And with Angel, when I told her, like, you know, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it. And actually I would do it, and then I would say it, you know, because she already has evidence that I've done those things, you know. So it's really important to me that she knows that. Not even her, but her family, you know what I'm saying? Because I told her that, you know, not only did I become best friends with you, I didn't just become best friends with you, like, you come with the family. And, you know, I want them to understand, I want them to know that, you know.
I mean, it's not just like with Crystal, it's also with people, you know. Be genuine of what you say. And in that conversation of me ending that friendship with that girl, is that I said, watch what you say, because it really can impact a person. And like I said, you know, we are still young and we still have like a lot to grow, because like Crystal's mom said, like, just because you are 24 doesn't mean you're grown and you know everything, okay? No. So I was kind of telling her that nicely, in a nice way. And also I said, multiple times in the conversation I said it wasn't right of you to use scripture against me. Like, no, like that is like, you were literally using it to downgrade me. She kept saying, no, you're wrong, Angel. And sometimes you really do need to take the toxic people out of your life. Like, of course, like there are gonna be loved ones, like the closest ones to you will hurt you the most.
And it does affect your health though. It
like mental health. And it's not okay. And you shouldn't let a person manipulate you. You shouldn't let a person treat you.
Now, when I talk about, you know, health, yeah, mentally and physically. Like, if a person is making you feel stressed out, you don't need somebody that's going to make you feel stressed out. Yeah, because they were stressing
me out. Your mental health is connected to your physical health. It's not okay, and that's why we also, like Crystal and I, like we needed to end the friendship, because otherwise it would have just kept getting toxic and toxic.
Yeah.
And that's not okay. But I do hope they learn from the situation.
That it would change one day.
Yeah, and I do hope that, you know, you can lose a friend. Like what Crystal implemented on me, I did with them. But that was my experience, and I'm not telling you guys like, oh, these people are bad people, like, you know, no. It's the people that you choose. And also I think it was because I didn't set boundaries. I also learned if you don't set boundaries, people will take advantage of you. So that's that. And that is whether or not, like, you know, you can compare to see like what is a good friend, what is who's not a, you know, your true friend. And yeah, your true friends will always have your back. And you know, just he wanted to share today. So yeah, and we will see you next week. Be blessed, y'all, and stay safe.